Hello everyone, this is Wicked West Books. I'm Meg West, and today I am doing the Disney book tag. Today was created by Kat from Catty-tastic. It has 10 questions that go along with 10 Disney movies, and I'm just going to say which book kind of goes along with the theme of those movies the best, in my opinion. The first Disney movie is The Little Mermaid. Name a character who is out of their element, a fish out of water. This one would actually have to be the hardest one for me because I don't think too much about the not fitting in. So the character from the book that I finally decided on was Meg from the Wrinkle in Time series. And not just Meg, but also Charles Wallace. They both kind of think alike. They don't really fit in with normal humans. They're kind of more advanced in the way that they think, and it's just very, very hard for them to fit in with anyone while they're on Earth. During their adventures through time and space, they fit in much better than they do just in their normal day-to-day lives. Movie number 2 is Cinderella. Name a character that goes through a major transformation. For this character and book, I chose Jonas from The Giver. I have not actually read the entire trilogy, but the amount of change that Jonas goes through in just this story is absolutely incredible. He goes from being one of everyone. He fits along with everybody. He's the same as everybody. And by the end of the book, he is the most different person in his society. So I think that the changes he goes through are they are so out there. It's a lot of change. He goes through a lot of change. It's so much change I can't even word. Movie number 3 is Snow White. Name a book that has an eclectic cast of characters. For this one, as was advised by my husband, I decided I was going to go with the cast of the Mercy Thompson novels. Now, the Mercy Thompson novels are essentially werewolves. Most of the main characters are werewolves. The main character, however, Mercy Thompson, is a skinwalker. She is also a mechanic. But you've got Mercy, you have Adam, you have Adam's daughter, who is kinda out there. There is my favorite character, Ben, who is a British werewolf who is in love with swearing. There is Warren and Kyle, who are a gay couple and are way up there in my favorites list for characters. There's Stefan, the vampire, who absolutely loves Scooby-Doo. It's just got a lot of different personalities that get thrown together in such a nice way. These books really are fantastic, and really anything by Patricia Briggs is good. If you haven't read Patricia Briggs, she comes highly recommended by me. Movie number 4 is Sleeping Beauty. Name a book that puts you to sleep. And with this, my answer is going to be the same as Kat's, except that I have never finished it. I am also going with Lord of the Rings. I picked this book up in high school because, of course, I'd only ever heard great things about it, and I tried so hard to read this book. I really, really did. I tried so hard to read the first one, and I couldn't do it. 200 pages in, and everything that happened was they moved from a party in the town to a party in the forest. That was it. 200 pages for that to happen, and I couldn't do it anymore. So I put it down. I have not picked it up. I did manage to struggle my way through The Hobbit, but Lord of the Rings is just not my cup of tea. The 5th Disney movie is The Lion King. Name a book with a character who had something traumatic happen to them during childhood. You would think that this one would be easy, but there's so much to choose from that it was actually kind of hard for me to answer. I finally decided on Nikirian from the League series by Sherilyn Kenyon. His book is Born of Night. Nikirian was born into a family that should have loved him. He had a twin brother, and his family was actually fairly well on. However, the jealous brother and the, quite frankly, excuse my language, bitch of a grandmother decided that he wasn't good enough. So they shipped him off to a human orphanage. He is not human. And they really treated him like crap. Like actual crap. They chained him up in the bathroom, put a muzzle on his face, that was on there for so long, it actually grew in, had to be surgically removed. Any food was peed in or spit on, and the only source of water that he could get to chained in this bathroom was toilet water. This guy went through hell, and that's why he gets to be the Lion King in this video. Fortunately for him, his life did get much better. Movie number 6 is my favorite movie of all time, or at the very least, it's my favorite Disney movie. It is Beauty and the Beast. Name a beast of a book, a really big book, that you were intimidated by, but when you actually read it, you found the beauty within. Now, the reason that this one was hard for me was because I like big books. The bigger the book, the more I actually want to read it. So it's kind of hard for me to find big books intimidating. Unless, of course, it's the Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson. And that's mostly because I'm halfway through the story, through the first book, and I'm not quite sure where it's going. So instead, I picked a fairly large-sized book that I have finished and did absolutely love. The book I chose for Beauty and the Beast is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. This book is fairly decent-sized. It's not, it's not the biggest book I own. Book 2 is actually bigger. I just haven't read book 2 yet. The story is beautiful. Once you get past the first 50 pages, that is present time, it doesn't quite make much sense when you first pick up the book, and you get into this actual story from the beginning. It is traumatic, but beautiful, which is something that I have absolutely no issue with reading. Traumatic and beauty, they kind of belong together. Movie number 7 is Aladdin. Name a book with a character who made a wish that came true, for better or for worse. For this one, I actually got to pick my favorite character out of one of my favorite series. So one of my favorite book series is the Dark Jewels series by Anne Bishop. This world is extremely dark and extremely beautiful, and so well built that it should be no surprise if you've read it that it is one of my most favorite series of all time. In this, there is a pair of brothers. You have my favorite, Lucifer, and then you also have Damon. And they both essentially make a wish that the myth of witch will actually come during their lifetime and kind of rescue them. And she does. Janelle is witch, and she grows into the savior that they were looking for. But both of the brothers kind of have to go through a lot of hell in order to get to the point where she completely rescues them, because she comes as a child, they recognize her as a child, and she has to grow up a little bit before she can save anybody. Movie number 8 is Mulan. Name a character who is acting like something or someone he is not. For Mulan, I decided I was going to go with mostly Nathaniel from the Bartimaeus series, but I suppose you can count Bartimaeus along with that. Now, Nathaniel was kind of abandoned by his parents, and in this world, the kind of orphanage for it is for a wizard family to take you in, and you have to pretend to not have a name until you're given a new one, and he doesn't really follow the rules. Really, the fact that he is a child and he pretends to be an adult magician before he actually gets there. You have Nathaniel, who is a child, and he is playing at being a magician in order to get his revenge on an actual magician. And then you also have Bartimaeus, who is a demon who is actually a jinn who pretends to hate humans when really he doesn't hate all of them. So they are the ones who are pretending to be something and someone that they are not. 9 is Toy Story. Name a book with characters that you want to just come to life. Oh, the choices there are. Seriously, can just every single character who's not bent on destroying the world and killing people come to life. But if I was forced to choose, which for the sake of this video I decided I went with the Dark Hunters, the Sherilyn Kenyon version of our world. I have nicknamed Sherilyn Kenyon the Queen of the Tortured Soul. She's the one who wrote Born of Night, who was the answer to the Lion King question, and all of her characters are essentially tortured that much. Not necessarily so young, but they all go through some form of major torture that really messes them up. And I want them to come to life so that I can just give them all a big hug, because they need hugs. The final movie is Disney Descendants. Name your favorite villain or morally ambiguous character. For this one, I chose Artemis Entreri. I could have gone with Artemis Fowl. I decided I liked him better, though, as a villain, because Artemis Fowl becomes a good character later on in the series. So this is kind of another tortured soul. I like my tortured soul. Artemis Entreri is the villain in the Drizzt Do'Urden series by R.A. Salvatore. The thing with him is that he is an assassin, which I love. I love assassins. Meets the main character Drizzt because he was hired to kidnap one of Drizzt's friends. He finds, to his immense surprise, that Drizzt is equal to him in swordsmanship abilities. And this really, really ticks him off, because the reason that he is such a great swordsman is because he decided he didn't need friends, he didn't need anyone else in his life. All he was going to focus on was his swordsmanship. And then here comes Drizzt, who's happy, who has friends, and is an equal to him in his abilities. And that's kind of what I love about him so much as an evil character, because he wishes that he didn't have to be. Alright, so that was all there was for this video. All that is left is for me to tag some people to do this video. And I have 5 people that I would like to tag. I would like to tag Rihanna of Little Library, Teresa of Books and More. I want to tag Victoria and Chris from Christoria 2027. I want to tag Sandra Alvarez, and lastly but not least, I would like to tag Franny in the pages. Alright, that's all I had for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to comment below on any of the books that I mentioned. Alright, so that's all I had for you guys tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next week. Bye!